Greetings, everybody. Jeffrey Guterman with the Strat-O-Matic Sports Network. And we've got another ball game. It's New York Yankees at Cleveland Indians. This is the third of a four-game series. There was the doubleheader to start it off. Yankees swept it. This game is dated September 6, 1969. And I'm playing this game after learning some very bad news in my personal life. Things have gone from bad to worse. And it's so bad that I can't even, I just can't even deal with it. Hopefully this will distract me. Yankees won this one 1-0 in real world. I'll be back in a few minutes with the lineups. Thank you. No, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad, Charles, but thank you anyway. I'll be back with the lineups in a few minutes. Good morning to Kathy Harden. Thank you, Kathy. I had just mentioned, I don't know if you heard it, things have gone from bad to worse in my personal life. I learned some very troubling news today. I don't want to get into the details. I am not even prepared to even think about this. It's mind-blowing, and I'm just going to play this game to try to distract myself from it. I'll be back with the lineups in a few minutes. Thank you very much, Kathy. Appreciate it. Okay, the lineups for the Yankees, it's Horace Clarke leading off at second, Gene Michael at short, Roy White in left, Joe Pepitone at first, Bobby Mercer in center, Frank Fernandez in right, it's Munson behind the plate, Jerry Kenny at third, and Stan Bonson, the pitcher. He's a right-hander. For Cleveland, it's Snyder in center, Klimchak at third, Baker in left, Tony Horton at first, Hawk Harrelson in right field, Duke Sims catching, Eddie Leon at short, Vern Fuller at second, and Mike Paul, left-hander, the pitcher. Bonson has won 7, Paul has won 3. Kathy Harden is for the Yankees. And Cleveland takes the field. We're in Municipal. And here's Horace Clarke to lead it off. Mike Paul is ready. Here's the windup and the pitch to Clarke. Switch hitter batting right. That's 5-5. And he struck him out. So there's one away. Now Gene Michael steps up to the plate. Michael also a switch hitter. The Yankees have 3 switch hitters to start off in this lineup. Here's Paul now. The pitch to Michael. 5-6, switch hitter batting right, and that is a liner to second, caught by Fuller, 2 outs. And here's Roy White. Roy White switch hitting, batting right against Paul. Okay, Paul gets the sign. And the pitch to White. 1-6 left-handed. There's a base hit by White, a 2-out single. And Joe Pepitone comes up. This will be lefty-lefty. Here's Paul. And the pitch to Pepitone. 2-10 left-handed. It's hit deep by Joe. To left field, back goes Baker. It's gone. A 2-run home run by Joe Pepitone. It was 2-10 against the left-handed. Home run 1-17. And it's gone. A 2-run home run. And it's 2-0 Yankees here in the top of the first. Yankees swept the doubleheader. They've won 4 in a row, making their way back from a tough season. for Pepitone. That is home run number 27. He had 27 in real world. So the Yankees off to an early 2-0 lead. Here comes Bobby Mercer now. Cleveland has lost 8 in a row, by the way. Here's Paul. And the pitch to Mercer. That's 5-7 left-handed. And that is a fly ball to center. Running for it is Snyder, and he makes the catch. It was 1-1-3, and it was a 4. He makes the catch, and the side is retired. So it's 2 runs for the Yankees here in the top of the first on the 2-run home run by Pepitone. After a half, it's Yankees 2, Cleveland coming up. Here's Stan Bonson now, right-handed pitcher. Russ Snyder now is the batter. Here's Bonson. 6'11", left-handed, flies it to right field for Fernandez. He's under it, and there's 1 away. Now Luke Klimchak. The pitch from Bonson to Klimchak. That's 4-6, left-handed. Fly ball center field for Mercer, 2 outs. And Frank Baker is the batter, left-handed hitter. Four 3 left-handed, flies to right X. Fernandez, a 4-15. F3. E15. 6-12-13. And he makes the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Bonson. After 1, it's 2-0 Yankees. And Rhodes Scholar has arrived. What the fuck? There it is. Top of the second now. Yankees ahead 2-0. I took my meds. Thank you. Here's Frank Fernandez. I take him every morning. Here's Paul now. And the pitch to Fernandez. 3-11. And that's hit well by Fernandez to right field. And back goes Harrelson, and that's gone. So Frank Fernandez has hit a home run. He had 12 in real world. That's number 13 for Fernandez. On the season. And that makes it a 3-0 ball game. Thurman Munson is the batter now. Here's Mike Paul. And the pitch to Munson. 6-5, right-handed. Oh boy, that's hit well. Almost another home run. It's a double by Munson. Paul getting hit hard here. Munson on second, nobody out. Jerry Kenny, the batter. Paul from the stretch. And the pitch to Kenny. 3-2 left-handed, grounds to third. Munson will hold at second. Kenny is thrown out, one away. Now Stan Bonson. The pitch from Paul to Bonson. 6-4, right-handed, grounds it to short. And Eddie Leon throws it over to Horton. 2 outs with Munson holding for Horace Clark. Here's Paul now. And the pitch to Clark, 5-8, switch hitter batting right, grounds to second X. For a Fuller 319. E19. That's 4-8-10. And he throws him out, and the side is retired. But another run for the Yankees on a solo home run by Frank Fernandez. Middle of the second, 3-0 Yankees. Bottom of the second, here's Tony Horton. to lead it off. Bonson retired the side in order in the first. Okay, Bonson is ready. The wind-up and the pitch to Horton. 6-8, right-handed, grounds to second X for Clark. 2-16. G1, E16. 3-6-9, E16. And he throws him out, one away. Now here's Hawk Harrelson. Bonson, the wind-up. The pitch to Hawk, 2-10, right-handed, walked him. So there's the first base runner today for Cleveland. Hawk is on first. He's a B. Being held 1-8. And Duke Sims the batter. The pitch from Bonson. 5-4 left-handed, grounds to third X. Kenny, 3-15. G3 being held. It's probably going to be an S2. If let's see, third base against the left-handed hitter. No. No, it is not a, it is a G1. I'm sorry, a G3. Kenny, E15, 7-8. A G3 with a runner on first. And it is a, he advances Harrelson to second. So it's 2 outs, Harrelson on second base. And here's Eddie Leon. Bonson throws 1-9. He struck him out. And that retires the side. So it's no runs, no hits. The walk to Hawk Harrelson, he was left on second. And after 2, it's still 3-0 Yankees. Oh. Okay, Paul in his third inning, he's allowed 2 home runs, a 2-run to Pepitone and a solo to Fernandez. Here's Gene Michael to lead it off. Here's Paul now. And the pitch to Michael. That's 1-2. And he grounds it to first for Horton, who takes it to the bag, 1 away. Now Roy White. Paul winds and the pitch. That's 3-6. Fly ball left field for Baker. And that's 2 away. And here comes Pepitone, who hit the 2-run home run in the first. Here's pull. And that's a 6-3 left-handed base hit up the middle for Pepitone, who's 2 for 2 now. Mercer steps in. It's 2 outs, Pepitone on first. From the stretch, Mike Pull and the pitch. 6-4 left-handed, grounds it to second for Fuller. And he throws it on to Tony Horton at first, and the side is retired. So, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left, folks. I'm Jeffrey Guterman. Like I said to everybody, things have gone from bad to worse for me. So bad now that, and I'm talking about personal situations, environmental and circumstantial situations, not health related. And it's very troublesome. I'm just going to need some time to get over this. I don't want any sympathy or anything like that. And I certainly don't want Peter Pan advice. And I just thought it would be good to play this game. Anyway, life has been really a sad thing for me here in my later years. And I'll just, it's such bad news that it's almost like you don't care anymore, if you follow what I'm saying. And I hope some of you can follow what I'm saying. But I have Strat-O-Matic. Without that, I don't know what I would do. And I appreciate all of you being here with me. We will be back in just a couple minutes. It's 2-1, 3-0 Yankees. In the middle of the third. I will be back just in a few minutes. Looking at our schedule, our next game will be Baltimore at Detroit. After that, it's San Francisco at Houston, which that game is an important game. The Baltimore at Detroit game I'll probably play sometime today. And scheduled to pitch Jim Palmer for the Orioles and Mickey Lolich for the Tigers. I will be back shortly. I'm going to step outside, get some fresh air. I'll be back soon. Well, I made a full pot of coffee, and I'm talking 12 cups, and I just poured my final cup, and I have a mind to go to the other stuff early, the way I feel. We are in Studio B. I'm Jeffrey Guterman. And it's the Yankees at Cleveland. Yankees won this one 1-0 in real world. And Yankees off to a 3-0 lead here. A 2-run home run by Pepitone in the first, and then a solo shot by Fernandez to lead off the second. Bonson will pitch now to Cleveland in the bottom of the third. Vern Fuller leads it off. Okay, Fuller steps in. Here's Bonson. The windup and the pitch to Fuller. That's 4-10, right-handed. Grounds it to short for Michael, and he throws to Pepitone, one away. And here comes Mike Paul to hit. Here's the pitch from Bonson. 4-6, left-handed, fly ball center for Mercer. And that's 2 away. And now Russ Snyder, the leadoff hitter, left-handed hitter. Bonson gets the sign from Munson. And the pitch to Snyder. That's 4-4, left-handed, grounds it to short X Michael. He's a 327. Uh-oh, 2-3, that's an S2. So that's going to be the no-hitter. He's an E27. 5-7-9. E27-9. It is a base hit. It's a 2-out single by Snyder. First hit of the game for Cleveland. Snyder on first with 2 down. Here's Lou Klimchak. It went past Michael. He couldn't get it. Here's Bonson now. And the pitch to Klimchak. That's 1-5, right-handed, fly ball left field for White. He makes the catch and the side is retired. So it's no runs for Cleveland, 1 hit and 1 left on. We've gone 3, it's 3-0 Yankees. Frank Fernandez will lead it off here in the top of the 4th. One way to look at things is to say, how bad can they be? I mean, no one's going to cut my balls off. No one is going to. No one is cutting my balls off. No one's cutting the balls off of my loved ones or the ovaries or the breasts of anyone that I love. And you just have to deal with things. And at most, it's unfortunate and difficult, but it's not the end of the world. Now all I have to do is believe that. Mike Paul on the mound. He'll face Frank Fernandez, top of the fourth here. Fernandez hit a solo home run in the second. Here's Paul now. And the pitch to Fernandez. That's 6-6, right-handed. Oh, Fernandez hits one well into center. But running for it is Snyder. He makes the catch, and that's one away. Here's Thurman Munson. Munson doubled in the second. He was left on. Here's the pitch from Paul. That's 1-9 against a left-hander. And there's a base hit for Munson, his second hit of the game. This youngster, this young catcher, really shows promise. Now Jerry Kenny with Munson on first and one down. Here's Mike Paul from the stretch, and the pitch to Kenny. That's 6-9. Left-handed, struck him out. That's the second for Paul. And here comes the pitcher, Stan Bonson. It's 2 outs, Munson on first. Top of the fourth. Yankees with a 3-0 lead. Here's Paul. It's 1-5 and he struck him out. That's the third strikeout for Paul. The side is retired. It's no runs, one hit for Munson, left on base. Middle of the fourth. 3-0. Yankees. Bonson has thrown 3 scoreless innings. A walk to Hawk Harrelson, a single to Snyder. That's been it. Here's Frank Baker now. Bonson gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Baker. 3-9, right-handed, and it's a base hit for Baker. A leadoff single for Tony Horton now. Hawk Harrelson on deck, then Sims. Bonson from the stretch, and the pitch to Horton. That's 6-9, right-handed, fly ball center field. Mercer has it, and Baker will hold at first. It's 1 out. Now here's Hawk Harrelson. Harrelson walked by Bonson in the second. The pitch to Harrelson. That's 4-10, right-handed. Grounds it to short. That's Michael. Throws to Clark at second and over to Pepitone at first for a double play. A 4-10, right-handed. The side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, none left after the double play. We've gone 4. It's a 3-0 ball game. Mark Levine has arrived. Hold on, I just have to reply to a post to somebody. I'm back. We are going to the top of the fifth. It's Mike Paul on the mound. His first endurance is this inning, the fifth. Here's Horace Clarke to lead it off. He's 0 for 2. Here's Paul now. And the pitch to Horace. That's 110 left-handed. Flies it to right for Harrelson. He makes the catch, 1 away. Now Gene Michael. Michael 0 for 2. Paul into his windup and the pitch to Michael. 1-9 left-handed, and there's a drive hit out into the gap. Extra bases for Michael. He's rounding second, and he comes into third with a triple. A triple, a one-out triple by Gene Michael off Paul. There's action in the Cleveland bullpen. Juan Pizarro is warming. He pitched last game, but he also pitched in this one in real world. left-handed pitcher. Now here's White with one out and Michael on third. Here's Paul. The pitch to White. 2-7 left-handed, and there is a base hit by White. And Michael scores. That's the fourth run for the Yankees today. White on first, one out. Not being held. 1-13. Paul, one hit and or walk away from fatigue. Joe Pepitone, the batter, 2 for 2. 2-run home run and a single left on. Here's Paul. The pitch to Pepitone. That's 5-8 left-handed, grounds to second X. For Fuller, 319. G3 Pound. I don't remember if White was being held. No, he's not being held. So it's a G3 clean. Fuller, E19, 468. And he throws him out with a runner on first. Let's see what that is. It's a G3 runner on first. He will go to second, White. Fuller throws Pepitone out at first, 2 outs. Again, White on second now. 1 run in. The triple by Michael, knocked home by White with a base hit. 2 outs now, White on second. 4-0 Yankees. Mercer at the plate, he's 0 for 2. Here's Paul. And the pitch to Mercer. 2-9 left-handed. Oh my, it's hit. Oh, that's a re-roll on the 20 die. And it's gone. Mercer with a 2-run home run, and that'll be it for Mike Paul. A 2-run home run, so they hit Paul very well today. Mercer with a 2-run home run. Let's look at it again. 2-9 left-handed home run. 1-16, it was a 15. A 2-run home run for Bobby Mercer. He had 26 in real world. For Mercer. Number 15. Underperforming a bit there. And Frank Fernandez is due up with 2 outs. That's going to be it for Mike Paul. It's a shame with 2 outs. We're going to bring somebody else in other than Pizarro because there'd be a pinch hitter. That's the thing I'm allowed to do here. I can warm up anybody I want. It will be Horatio Pena with a 5.21 ERA to just try to get the last out of this inning. Horatio Pena. Because they're very well he could be due up next inning. Paul pitched 4 2/3 innings. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And basically he got bombed. Allowing 6 runs. Pena taking his warm-ups now. He's a right-hander. And here's Frank Fernandez with 2 outs and nobody on. Fernandez 1 for 2, hit a solo home run. Great game for Yankee fans. Here's Pena now, the windup and the pitch to Fernandez. 3-7 right-handed, and that is a grounder to second. Fuller has it. He throws to Tony Horton, and the side is retired. But 3 runs for the Yankees. It was the triple by Michael, knocked home by White, and then Mercer with Michael on second hit a home run. It's 6-0 Yanks, and we move to the bottom of the 5th. Duke Sims leads it off. He's 0 for 1. Okay, Bonson ready here. The pitch to Sims. That's 4-4 left-handed, grounds to short X. That's from Michael, 327. 8-3, G3. E27, 4-7-10. And he throws him out, 1 away. I am going to go to the other stuff. I just don't feel like coffee. I'm going to do an early morning wake and bake kind of thing. Here's Eddie Leon now. Struck out in the second. Bonson, the windup and the pitch to Leon. That's 6-8, right-handed, grounder to second for Clark. 216. 5-2, G3. E16. 6-7-8. And he throws him out, 2 away. Pena wouldn't get a chance to pitch next inning here if Vern Fuller is retired. What the hell? 6-0. Vern Fuller now, and the pitch. 5-5 right-handed, struck him out. Bonson very tough here, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. And after 5, it's 6-0. And Horacio Pena, who retired the one batter he faced after Paul fatigued, will pitch the top of the 6th, and I'm gonna do the frickin' other stuff. Mike Terranova has arrived. Great to see you, Mike. Great to see you. Always great to see you. It's going to be a little break in the action here as I get myself to take a little medicine. How's the pizza going there, Mike? YouTube, Jeffrey Guterman. Very good, Mike. There's a little break in the action here, folks. It's been a very interesting ball game, Mike. Pepitone hit a 2-run homer in the first off Mike Paul. Fernandez hit a solo leadoff home run in the second off Paul. And then Paul was charged with 3 runs in the fifth, his first endurance inning, including a 2-run home run by Bobby Mercer. And it is 6-0. Horatio Pena came in after the home run because Mike Paul reached fatigue. Horatio retired Fernandez to end the inning, and now he will pitch here in the top of the sixth. His ERA was 5.21. And I'm just taking a medicine break. Oh. Oh, Lord. Oh. Oh, dear. Yeah, Pepitone put his comb down for that one. Indeed he did. And Steve Aquilung has arrived. Great to see you, Steve. Early morning for you. Here's Horatio Pena facing Munson to start off the top of the sixth. His first full inning of relief. Pena into his wind-up and the pitch to Munson. He's 1-6 right-handed, and that's hit well by Munson. Whoa, it's into the gap, extra bases. He's rounding second, and he comes into third with a triple. And he's a home run away from the cycle. He's 3 for 3 today. A 1-6 triple by Munson. And here's Jerry Kenny now. Michael got a triple off Mike Paul in the fifth. Okay, Kenny. Here's Pena. Whoa, that is a re-roll because one of the dice didn't make it through the tower. 1-8, and it's a base hit by Kenny. Munson comes home. It's 7-0. So the Yanks really hitting in this game. They've won 4 in a row. They're on a winning streak. Cleveland has lost 8 in a row. Kenny on first, being held, 1-13. Here's Stan Bonson now. Okay, Pena from the stretch. And the pitch to Bonson. That's 110, and he struck him out. 1 away. And here's Horace Clarke. Clarke 0 for 3 today. Pena. And the pitch. That's 6-7. Switch hitter batting left. Grounds to second X. Fuller, 319. 14-3. It's a G2. E19. 3-5-6. Oh, he boots it. That's going to be a G2 E1. Oh, Lord. He booted it. Kenny will go to second and hold. First error of the ball game. First and second one out for Gene Michael. Tripled and scored in the 5th off white space hit. Michael 1 for 3. Pena, first and second one out. And the pitch to Michael. That's 110. And there's a base hit to right. Let's see if Kenny's coming home. They don't really need the run. He's a -1. Kenny has speed. 1-16. 1-15. Ah, what the hell? We'll send him home. They're going to throw. Here's the throw from Hawk Harrelson to home plate, and Kenny is safe. A 2-run single by Gene Michael, who is now 2 for 4 today. It's now 8-0. Wait a minute. Actually, that's 1 run batted in there for Michael. Everyone advances. So it's second and third, one out. And Roy White, the batter. Now, they'll keep Horatio in here for another try. It's 8-0. Yankees. And here's White, switch hitter,
batting left against Horatio Pena. Second and third, one out. And the pitch to White. That's 5-11, switch hitter batting left. There's a base hit to right. Clark comes home, it's unearned. Let's see if Michael's coming home. 5-11 single. Let's see if Michael's coming home. 1-12 to right field. 1-11. We'll hold him. So it's first and third. Still only one out, and that's it for Horatio Pena. Even though he's due up next, they'll bring anybody in. Pena pitched 2/3 of an inning. Allowed 4 hits. And has allowed 2 earned, 1 unearned. It's 9-0 Yankees. Let's see who's coming in here. Great game for Yankee fans. It's going to be Ronnie Law. Ronnie Law. Coming in, right-hander. Taking in his warm-ups. It'll be Pepitone. Law. This is some inning, all right. Yes, it is. The leadoff triple by Munson. Kenny knocked him home with a base hit. Bonson was struck out. Then Clark reached on the error by second baseman Vern Fuller. It was first and second. And then the base hit by Michael knocked home Kenny. And then the base hit by White brought Clark home. 3 runs at 9-0 Yankees. Okay, Law's ready. Here's Joe Pepitone now. Still only 1 out. First and third. Here's Law. That's 1-3 right-handed, and he struck him out. That's 2 away for Bobby Mercer. White on first, Michael on third. 2 down. And the pitch to Mercer. 4-11, left-handed, grounds it to second. Fuller has it, and he throws to Tony Horton, and the side is retired. Law finishes it off, but another 3 runs, 1 of them unearned. And in the middle of the 6th, it is 9-0 Yankees. It's one of those snoozers that is for Yankee fans, a good dream. And for Cleveland, this snoozer is a nightmare. They've already lost 8 in a row. We'll take a little break here. We invite you to just enjoy the ball game as it were. My name's Jeffrey Guterman. This is the Strat-O-Matic Sports Network. Pepitone was quite a character. He had some brushes with the law in his life. But what can I say? But I still had a fondness for him. I believe that he even claimed he was going to or instituted a civil suit against the Baseball Hall of Fame because of some claim he had to one of his artifacts, whether it be a glove or a ball, being put into the Hall of Fame. I don't know, did any of you hear about that? He ended up dropping the lawsuit. This was in 2021, as I'm reading from ESPN. Former Yankees star Joe Pepitone has dropped his lawsuit against the Baseball Hall of Fame that sought the return of a Louisville Slugger bat that Mickey Mantle used to hit his 500th career home run. Probably it's because that was his bat, but here it is. He had sought $1 million in compensatory damages of $1 million. He said the bat was valued over $500,000, and Mantle hit his 500th home run off Baltimore's Stu Miller at the original Yankee in 1967. The lawsuit claimed Mantle wanted to use a lighter bat than his signature model in order to generate bat speed, and Pepitone obliged after going deep against Miller the previous inning. So it's a claim that it was like I had thought, that it was a claim that it was his bat. Joe Pepitone. Meanwhile, I am from Studio B here in Fort Lauderdale. And we go back in time to 1969. And Pepitone hit a 2-run home run in the first inning. He's 2 for 4 today. You know, you can go look it up, or you can listen to I learned this in an interview with Pepitone in his later years, that he came up, and I don't know which year it was. In fact, I could look it up and tell you. But he came up from the minors, I believe. I thought it was 62. His first year with the Yankees was 62. He ended up only having 138 at bats. But he hit 239. He did hit 7 home runs. Played in 63 games. The next year, he hit 271 with 27 home runs, and he kept having good years. And he said in the interview, and I suppose it was referring to 1962, that when he came up in spring training, I suppose with an expanded roster, and he said in the interview that he did well and made the team. That may be not a very significant statement to the ear, but really that is what happened. He played very well in spring training and made the team. And this was still the Yankee dynasty, the greatest dynasty in sports history, 1949 to 1964, when they had won every pennant except 2. From 1949 to 1964. So, and this was 62. So they were, who knows what they thought? They probably thought that they could continue the dynasty. They had youngsters like Tresh, okay, who they thought would have promise. I think Tresh was billed the second Mickey Mantle, or, you know, something like that. And he made the team, and he became a sensation to the media and the public. He ended up being traded. I don't, well, maybe I'd like to know how many times, who. I know what's really impressive about him, he was traded to the Astros early 1970 and did fine with them. And then at the end of the year, he was traded to the Cubs.
And he actually had a good year in 70 when he split between Houston and Chicago. But his 1971 season with Chicago, he hit, and I remember this, he hit 307. 427 at bats, and with 16 home runs. He hit 307. And I remember that. Remember that very well. In fact, I remember seeing a game of the week when he was playing, and we were talking about how well he was doing on the Cubs. And in an interview, Pepitone said that he liked Chicago, that he liked the fans. And again, it may just seem like a passing comment, but I think that's pretty significant. Pretty interesting. He liked Chicago. There is a reason why Pepitone made the Yankee club when he came up in 62, and I would say that reason is because he was a talented player. P.S. In 72, he was hurt a lot of the season. He only had 214 at bats. In 73, he did fine. At the beginning of the season, but he was traded to Atlanta. And some of you may remember Atlanta was a bit in the race that year. The Reds ended up winning, but they were like 8 games behind, I remember, in September, late September. And when he was with Atlanta, he only played in 3 games, had 11 at bats, and that was it for him. He retired. At the age of 33. He hit 219 lifetime home runs and had a lifetime 258 average. Mike Terranova, are you there? Mike Terranova. All I wanted to say is, yeah, I got your email. I appreciate what you're saying. It's not a problem with me at all, what you're saying. That is not the way I'd want to go. I'll reply again. And you're being a friend. Thank you, sir. We're back to the ball game here. There's a little bio of Joe Pepitone, and then Pepitone got into some trouble. I think there was cocaine found or large numbers of cash in his automobile or his vehicle. And And sadly, he died there. I guess he was old enough to die. Uh, he was 82 years old, for goodness sakes. He did go to the NBP and played for the Yakult Adams that same year when I guess he was released by Atlanta. I don't know, is that a Japanese team? Sounds it to me. I think I may have remembered the Tokyo. Wait a minute. A lot of people played in the 70s and 80s. A lot of people played in Japan. Yeah, he got a $70,000 salary worth $461,000 today a year, 70 grand a year to play for the Yakult Adams in Nippon Professional Baseball Central League. He hit 163 in 14 games. And I hope that Mike was okay for me to address that here. Nobody knows, it was camouflaged. Mike, you okay with that? 9-0 Yankees. We're heading to the bottom of the sixth. Meanwhile, Stan Bonson throwing a 2-hit shutout. And like we said, there will be a hitter. For Ronnie Law. And it will be, the new pitcher will be Juan Pizarro. You okay there, Mike? Oh, okay, there he is. Mike Terranova says in text, he, and I assume he's referring to Pepitone, lived in and hung out with us on the Avenue in Brooklyn. Very funny guy, told lots of stories, but his big problem was getting high. And in my neighborhood, there was lots of drugs. That's fantastic information. That is valuable information, not to stigmatize him, but and I don't blame him. Now, do you know what kind of drugs he was using? Did that include cocaine or anything stronger, or else like heroin? But was he doing? I'd like to interview you about Joe Pepitone. Just coke. Well, that's, cocaine is a very dangerous drug. Well, there's going to be a hitter. Bonson on the mound. There's going to be a hitter here for Ronnie Law. And I would love to do an interview, unless you would prefer not to disclose information. And I would love to ask you all sorts of questions about him, about what he told you, about the neighborhood where he, the circumstances, everything of how and why he hung out. Was he loitering? I mean, it would be fantastic. You let me know if you're interested. I would absolutely love it. And I would end up getting a lot of views for this. It's going to be Jose Cardinal to lead it, to pinch hit here.
Okay, Mike, I eagerly await that, seriously. You give me a time and a date, and you could just email me, or you could just, if you're ever on here, you can tell me, like I would do it this afternoon. I'll do it after this game, even. I mean, you just let me know. I really, and I would be actually quite indebted to you. Um, for that. And I think you might be doing a good service to people, because you're not only going to talk about the negative things, but you're going to talk about all sorts of things. And for people who are interested in Joe Pepitone, Lord, I think it would be great. Okay, Jose Cardinal is pinch hitting here. Okay, Mike, thank you so much. Jose, right-handed hitter, probably the best player who happens not to be starting today on their bench. It's Bonson, who has two hits shut out the Tribe, who have lost 8 in a row. Here's Bonson now, the pitch to Jose. 5-10 right-handed, and it's a fly ball to left. That's going to be for Roy White, and that's one away. And by the way, there's nothing, people are allowed to do that in life. It's not defamation, as long as what you say is true. That's all. And we're not going to stigmatize him. And I think he also has spoken a lot about his own issues. One out now, and here's Russ Snyder, left-handed hitter, facing Bonson, who's been very tough today. And cocaine, I'm telling you, that's a very, very serious and addictive drug. Psychologically, it physiologically, there are symptoms of withdrawal, but they're acute and non-life threatening. People don't realize that, unlike opiates such as heroin. But it's still very hard for some people to get off that. And sometimes they do need psychopharmacological intervention along with treatment, because that will destroy you. Here's Russ Snyder now, left-handed hitter. Bonson on the mound. The windup and the pitch to Russ Snyder. 110 right-handed, and there's a base hit. Oh, and he's going for 2. And he is into second with a double. 9-0 Yankees, 1 out here, bottom of the 6th. Russ Snyder on a 110 right-handed was double 1, single 2 to 20. And look at that, Kathy Harden. That is a 1. He stretched it. I don't think anybody thought he was going to do so. Mercer had to go back to get the hit, and Snyder was just going, and because it was in the gap. And here comes Lou Klimchak now. I want to thank everybody right now for coming here, being here. I find you all so supportive. Kathy, especially Kathy, Mike, so much, Mike. Steve Aquilung, so much. I don't see, Mark Levine anymore, but Rhodes Scholar, I don't see anymore, but them very much. I'm feeling okay right now. I am in a quasi crisis in my life right now. It's gotten worse. I know you hear it all the time, but there were changes, things yesterday that resulted in a crisis. And when in a crisis, the first rule, don't panic. That's the first rule. And that's what I'm trying to do. So I had coffee, I had a big pot, I took a morning hit, and I'll take a Klonopin in a little bit, Kathy, preventative, to make sure that I'm going to be okay. Luke Klimchak comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2. That was only the third hit allowed by Bonson. So Snyder on second with 1 down. It's Klimchak at the plate. I'm trying to cope effectively, the don't panic kind of idea, and no one's going to cut my balls off idea. I'm serious. I'm trying. I have to for survival, or else I'll decompensate. Here's Bonson now from the stretch, and the pitch to Klimchak. That is 5-9 left-handed, and it's a fly ball to left. White is under it. He makes the catch, and it's 2 away. So 2 fly balls to Roy White out and left. I'm enjoying the casualness and the pace of this ball game. I will tell you all that. And I hope you are too. It's 2 outs now, Snyder on second, and Frank Baker is the batter. Bonson trying to get out of this to keep the shutout. Here's Bonson. And the pitch to Baker. That's 3-6 right-handed. And that is a drive hit out to left. White going for it, and he makes a running catch. The third fly ball this inning to Roy White, and this last one was a very nice catch. It was 3-6 right-handed, double 1 fly ball left the rest. And there's no runs again for Cleveland. 1 hit, the double by Snyder. He stretched a base hit to center. We've gone 6. And it is a 9-0 ball game, and we'd love to hear from all of you in the live chat. We always do. And there's going to be a new pitcher. He started on Oakland, I guess. He ended up on the Cleveland Tribe. Juan Pizarro. Juan Pizarro died in 2021. Juan Pizarro will be the new pitcher. Juan Pizarro, his full name was Juan Ramon Pizarro. Born in 1937, died at age 84. He was Puerto Rican. He played 18 seasons. 18. His first year was 1957. I don't know if that's Major League. Wow, it was. He had a lifetime record of 131 and 105, and in 1964, for the White Sox, he was 19 and 9. This year, he actually started on the Red Sox, then went to Cleveland, and that's where he is now, and he went to Oakland at the end of the year. So we're going to be moving him to Oakland if he's called. He did not start any games for Oakland when he was traded at the end, and therefore the only time we would ever use him is if we put him in the guidelines of who was used in real world, and if we choose to do so. So that's very interesting. And Juan Pizarro, the interesting thing about Juan Pizarro is his longevity, as far as I'm concerned. We're moving to the top of the seventh. It's a 9-0 ball game. And here's Juan Pizarro now, left-handed pitcher. Yankees having batting practice today, 9-0 in this third of a 4-game series. The first two were a doubleheader on September 5th. The Yankees swept Cleveland. It's Frank Fernandez, 1 for 4. He homered. A 2-run home run in the 5th. Here's Juan Pizarro now. The wind-up and the pitch to Fernandez. 3-7 left-handed, he walked him. So Fernandez is on first, and here's Munson now. Anybody out there? Anybody at all? I know Kathy Harden is out there. Fernandez on first, and here's Munson now, 3 for 3, a double, a single, and a triple. And he hasn't knocked in any runs. He scored a run. A home run would be the cycle. Great to have Mike Terranova here. He had 1 home run in real world. Only had 86 at-bats. He started this game, so that's why he's playing. I use him to pinch hit occasionally. And he has hit only 1 home run. He is an N power against right-handers, but he's facing Pizarro now, and he's a W. So we would say as long as Pizarro is pitching, a cycle is impossible. Fernandez on first, nobody out. Here's the pitch to Munson. That's going to be 3-5 against the left-hander. Fly ball left for Baker. And Baker has plenty of room there to make the catch. It's 1 out. Okay, so Munson now 3 for 4. Here's Jerry Kenny. Jerry 1 for 3 today, singled and scored in the 6th. Juan Pizarro from the stretch, and now the pitch to Kenny. That's 1-7 left-handed, grounds to short. This could be 2. Eddie Leon picks it up at short, throws to Fuller at second, and over to Horton for an inning-ending double play. So something goes right here, really right, for Cleveland as Juan Pizarro retires the side, no runs, one hit, none left after the double play. And we are in the 7th inning stretch. A tradition in baseball, and some say it was created in 1910 when President William Howard Taft, on a visit to Pittsburgh, went to a game and stood up to stretch in the 7th inning. William Howard Taft, who was also president when we are doing our 1911 replay. Kathy Harden. You know, Taft was promoted or endorsed, I believe, by Roosevelt, both Republicans, but then Roosevelt went against Taft and ran as a third-party candidate and lost. And what makes that interesting is just to see how hard it is for an incumbent to win. In this case, after McKinley was assassinated, TR became president, and he vowed he was going to run the next election, but he made a vow, a pledge to not run for a second term after that, which reflects his desire to show that he was progressive, which he was in many ways, and that he would not have a conflict of interest having to get reelected, and that he would just focus on doing what's right. And he had a great term. Of course, he has a mixed legacy. His hatred of Native Americans, his wanting to kill them all, his expansionism. Some of you may agree with his expansionism, his expansionist policies, and some would disagree, you know. So he stood up and he stretched. I also believe he was the first pitcher to throw out a first ball. I'm not 100% sure of that. And I also know that Taft was the only U.S. president who was also a justice of the Supreme Court. And I believe he was the Chief Justice. I want to show you one more picture. That is a mind blower. In 1922, the Lincoln Memorial was dedicated. And this is, I don't know the exact date. We'll get back to the game in a moment. I don't remember the exact date, but it was 1922. Here in the center, of course, is Warren Harding, who is the current president, and he will eventually die in office, probably of a heart attack, but no one knows for sure. And that's when Coolidge would take over, a Republican, and that's when the Republican Party was the good party. Here's Taft, who is a former U.S. president, who again we learned was president in 1910, 1911, when he was Supreme Court Justice. And this is the mind blower. Does anybody know who this is? Anybody at all? And just to see these three people, again, I'm going to say this is the famous picture, by the way. This is the opening of here's a close-up of him. The dedication of the Lincoln Memorial. And this completely blows my mind. Does anybody know, would anyone like to take a guess who this is right here? Anybody at all? No, that's a good guess, Steve. His name was Robert Todd Lincoln. This was Lincoln's oldest son and his only son, surviving son. Kathy Harden is right, Robert Lincoln. Robert Lincoln, and it blows my mind. And he had a career in himself. You know, it is a blowaway, Mike. It's not easy to be Abraham Lincoln's son. And he was on cabinet, under an administration. He was on a cabinet. He was different things. I think Secretary of the Navy, I'm not sure. He became, and I'm just going to get into this, then we'll get back to this ball game. He became, how could I say, had not a good relationship with his mother, Mary Todd. And this was years earlier, when he had her committed to a psychiatric hospital. Back then, you know, they called them mental institutions or asylums. And, you know, it's not easy to do a psychological autopsy, but we have some ideas that Mary Todd Lincoln had some sort of what today we would call a mental disorder, whether it be manic episodes, and, you know, she went on spending sprees. And look, what this woman, first of all, this woman, and I'm wrapping it up now, this woman, along with her husband, Abraham Lincoln, who she loved dearly, this woman experienced multiple grief in her life. She lost multiple children. I don't know how many. And back then, you know, child mortality was higher, and people died of all sorts of things, infants. She had one die. There's even a picture, if you look at it, of Lincoln sitting somewhere in the White House with the coffin of one of his children. And when Lincoln died, she was hysterical. When he was shot and they took him across to the boarding home, she was hysterical. She was inconsolable thereafter. I think she may have had to go to a psychiatric hospital shortly thereafter. But eventually,
when she got out years later, he had her committed, which is a very hard thing to do. And that's the story of that. But just to think, here he is alive. I don't know what year he died. Here he is alive. Look at the suits. Okay. This was 1922. This was the, I guess we would call it the start of the economic bubble of the 20s. I was just watching a documentary about the Depression and the 20s, what it was like. And, Harding, Coolidge became president, again, conservative, wants to encourage business growth. And then Harding became president. After Coolidge. I think Coolidge finished, he did finish Harding's tour, then ran on his own and won. And Coolidge is a very interesting person. Then his wife died, Grace Coolidge, the first lady. And historians now are looking back and saying, after he didn't run again, by the way, and that's when Hoover ran and won. In 28. And he said, quote, "I am not long for this world," unquote. That was Coolidge. And people are saying he was terribly depressed, and I think she died during his term. So Hoover came in, and Hoover, I was watching the documentary, Hoover, as the Depression, when the Depression hit in 29 into, the 1931, he laid off. He didn't take measures. He didn't use the government to stimulate the economy, bring jobs back. And then there was the case of Hooverville. And Hooverville is when World War I veterans who were promised bonus pay wanted their money. They didn't get their money. The U.S. didn't have the money. Today we would just take on the debt for it. And people camped out. And there were some people who died. Many got injured. The National Guard was turned in, Hoover. And some people say that was the loss of the election. Hooverville was set up right in Washington, D.C., near the White House in an open area. And there were other Hoovervilles. There were other locations where it was done. Just unbelievable to think about the history. And I watch documentaries all the time on this stuff. And here's another picture. I never saw this picture. Wow. I'm just going to show you this picture. Here's Lincoln at another picture, and this one's of Lincoln, Robert Todd Lincoln at the dedication. That one I've never seen. I don't know who the others are. 1922. They almost look, if you forget about the black and white or whatever, they almost look like people who could exist today. This man looks like a person who would be alive today. This guy too. The woman too, I guess, without the hat. I guess they wore hats at dedications. I guess they still do. But that's it. We can get back to the ball game. I hope you enjoyed that or got some value out of that. Amazing history. We're going to get back to this ball game now. Yeah. And we have a 9-0 ball game is what we have here. Stan Bonson has been unbelievable. 3-hit shutout. He allowed a base hit to Snyder in the third, a single to Baker in the fourth. He was doubled up.
A 1-out double by Snyder in the 6th, which was his first, thank you, Mike Terranova, which was his first endurance inning. And here he goes in his second endurance inning. It's going to be Horton, Hawk, and the Duke. Tony Horton steps in the batter's box. Tony, a right-handed hitter. Okay, here's Bonson now. The windup and the pitch to Tony Horton. That's 3-8, right-handed, and that is a base hit for Horton to lead it off. This is an endurance inning. He is fresh, Bonson. Now Hawk Harrelson. 9-0 Yankees. The few fans who were at this game, some of them have left the ballpark already. Hawk Harrelson walked and grounded into a double play. Here's Bonson now from the stretch. The pitch to Hawk. That's 1-7 right-handed, and he walked him. So the Hawk walks. And Bonson is one hit and or walk away from fatigue. There is action in the Yankee bullpen. It's well rested. Aker pitched in this in real world. I used him, I don't know which game, but fairly recently with a 9-0 lead. We'll give someone else a shot at it. We'll let Steve Hamilton, a left-handed pitcher, warm up and be ready to come in if needed. We don't want to burn Bonson out here. So it's first, we'll take him out, no problem. It's first and second, nobody out, and here's Duke Sims now. It's 9-0 Yankees. Here's Bonson from the stretch, and the pitch to Sims. That's 4-5 left-handed, grounds to short X. It could be 2. Michael, 327. No one being held. G2. E27, 5-8-10. And he throws him out. Now that's going to be a G2, first and second. And that means we are talking Hawk Harrelson is forced at second for the out. So it's 1 out, first and third. It's Sims on first, and Bonson retains endurance. Here's Eddie Leon. We'll see if he can get out of this. The infield is back. First and third, 1 away. Here's the pitch to Eddie Leon. That's 4-11 right-handed. I don't think he's got the power. He does have the power, but it's a fly ball to left caught by White. And Horton tags with the first run. Let's look at that again. 4-11 right-handed, end home run 1-12. Oh, he does have an end power, but it was a 15. What a hard luck for Eddie Leon and Cleveland. It will be a sacrifice fly, so therefore Bonson allows his first run. The shutout is gone. And it's 2 outs with Duke Sims on first, and Vern Fuller has a chance now, is up at the plate, and Bonson has a chance here to get out of this and retain endurance. It's now a 9-1 ball game, and here's Bonson. The pitch to Fuller. That's 3-4 right-handed, grounds it to second for Horace, and he throws it over to Pepitone. And the side is retired, and Bonson remains with endurance. There was one run on one hit, a walk, and a sacrifice fly. The force play started by, made by Michael, allowed Horton to go to third and then tag on Leon's fly ball. We've gone 7, and it is we've gone 7. It is a 9-1 ball game. And here's Pizarro. He'll get to pitch another inning. God knows who they'll bring in. If there was a man named Hennigan, and I think I'll use him as a nameless player. It's going to be Bonson leading it off. He says he feels fine. Just looking ahead, that might be a smart move. The pitcher is Hennigan. I don't believe he's on any roster in the Strat-O-Matic 1969 set. He played only 5 years. Was with Cleveland. This was his rookie year. This is the first time I'm seeing him. So therefore, I'm going to say that he is a major league debut. He pitched 16 1/3 innings, had a 3.31 ERA. He had a 2-1 record. Didn't start any games, all in relief. We'd call that about average. He struck out 10 in 16. He's about an average strikeout pitcher. By the way, after 72, and he was hardly used by Cleveland. He was still on them from 69 through 72. Traded to the Mets in 73, and he was used in 30 frickin' games and pitched 43 innings. He pitched 82, 71, 82, 67 innings for Cleveland starting in 70. Pitched a good deal for that Met team that won the division and the pennant in 73. His ERA was 6.23. He is a right-handed pitcher. So we will use Hennigan next in the 9th. Here's Bonson now. Pizarro, the windup and the pitch. 5-7. Right-handed, grounds to second X. Fuller, 319. G2, E19. That's 356, E19. And he boots it. Another error for Vern Fuller, his second of the ball game. The first error resulted in an unearned run when Clark scored after reaching first on the error by Fuller. Now Fuller makes the error on a pretty routine ball hit by Bonson. Here's Clark now. Here's Pizarro and the pitch to Clark. 4-10, switch hitter batting right, grounds to short. This is going to be two possibly. Leon to Fuller to Horton, and it is a double play. So after the, actually it was 4-10. Oh, it was to shortstop, yeah, to Fuller. And it's 2 outs, nobody on. And here's Gene Michael. Yankees rocking out in Cleveland, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And that's a, it makes sense. I didn't know it was in Cleveland. I think I may have heard it or whatever. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Many people are not in it that should be in it. Many people are in it that shouldn't be in it. Some people are in it, they're not even rock and roll. I mean, you know, you got to define rock and roll. You know, you can define it in terms of the strict era that spanned approximately 1955 to, I don't know, 57. I don't know what year. Buddy Holly and the plane went down. I punctuate that as the end. What happened was there was scandal among the rock and roll people, various of them. And the United States and Britain created a new breed, a new, fresh, young, cleaner cut group of people. That's when you had people like Paul Anka. That's when you had doo-wop, Dion, and of course, that's a sort of the doo-wop, teen idol era, and then the Beatles invaded, and the rest is history, I think. Then you had, you know, they used to call them a pop group, and then as we went into the 70s, we started calling it even earlier rock, okay? And, you know, so it's a very interesting thing to think about, but there is the strict definition of rock and roll, which is a very brief period. Bill Haley, Jerry Lee Lewis, who married his 13-year-old cousin, Buddy Holly, even though even Holly was like more of a, I forgot the name of it, hillbilly rock or something like that. You had Little Richard, and this was the era of real rock and roll. We're heading to the bottom of the 8th here, and there's gonna be a hitter. For Juan Pizarro. Who pitched 2 innings. No hits allowed. Walked 1 and allowed no runs, so he's been the most effective. I'll let you know who the hitter's going to be in due course, but for now I want to say who is going to be the pitcher. His name is Hennigan, a right-handed pitcher, and this will be his major league debut, we believe. A major and a great game to bring him in, a 9-1 game when you're down. Just checking him out. It's Phil Hennigan. He'll be a right-handed pitcher, and we will pull out a nameless player for him. Phil Hennigan is still alive. Had a very, very short career. 5 years in Major League Baseball. Actually, Phil Hennigan is dead. That was a mistake. He was a right-handed pitcher from 69 to 73. Drafted by the Cleveland Indians in 1966. He missed 67 due to military service. He pitched for Reno again in the minors. Was pretty mediocre. In this year in 69, he mostly pitched for the Waterbury Indians. But again, he did come up here at the end of the year. He made his Major League debut on September 2 of 69, so we missed it. He was used, and I chose not to use him. He died of lung cancer in 2016. He was 70 years old. And I'm going to go pick out a nameless player for Phil Hennigan. Here he is when he was with the Mets. And if you give me a moment here, I'm going to go to my nameless players. He was born in Jasper, Texas, and Baseball Reference has not updated him in terms of his death. Let's see who we're going to go with here. We want a large, he had a 3.31 ERA. We can go with an average pitcher. Go with an average pitcher. Here it is. Oh, that's a hitter. Here's an average pitcher. I think that'll do. Steve Hennigan. Is warming in the bullpen. That will be Steve Hennigan. His card will be as is. We will enter Hennigan here. There he is. Okay, we already entered him. And there's a Stan Bonson on the mound, bottom of the eighth. It's a 9-1 ball game. He did allow a single and a walk in the seventh, an endurance inning. That means any combination of 2 hits and/or walks. And he will be fatigued. Chuck Hinton will be the pinch hitter. Chuck Hinton. He is a right-handed hitter. Bonson is ready now. Hamilton, the left-hander, is ready if needed. Here's Bonson, the windup, and the pitch to Hinton. That's 2-7 right-handed. It's a fly ball to center. Easy play for Mercer. He makes the catch, and it's one away. And here's Russ Snyder, 2 for 3 today. Singled in the third, doubled in the sixth, left on both times. Here's Bonson. And the pitch to Snyder. 2-10 right-handed, chops it to second. Horace has it on one hop. And he throws it to Pepitone, 2 away. And the batter is Lou Klimchuk. He's 0 for 3. Bonson, 1 out away from retaining full endurance. Here's Bonson now. And the pitch to Klimchuk. 3-5 right-handed, pops it up to second. For Clark. And it's a 1-2-3 for Bonson, looking stronger than ever. And his endurance is fully refreshed. We've gone 8. And this is a 9-1 ball game. And Phil Hennigan is the new pitcher. He's a right-hander. We are using a nameless player. He had a 3.31 ERA. There will be a brief break in the action as Hennigan comes out from the dugout. And then when he comes to the mound, they will need him to take his warm-ups. Phil Hennigan. And if you would be so gracious as to join me in thinking about Phil Hennigan. He had a 5-year career and died of cancer fairly recently, I think. He had cancer for a year. This was his baseball card. I think this was, geez, I'm not sure what year this card was. This is actually his 1971 card. This is because it shows only his 70 stats, but we know now that his first year was 69. They also give lifetime. And as it says, his first year in the majors was 69. He was 6 feet 184. A four-sport star in high school. He also played baseball in college, semi-pro, and then came up in '69 and just couldn't make it. He lasted 5 years, and that isn't that the case with a lot of people. A lot of very, very obscure people. I might even have some sort of memory of a memory of Phil Hennigan back then. Very, very obscure. Okay, Hennigan at the mound taking his warm-ups. If you are looking ahead to the 9th inning, it will be Baker, Horton, and Harrelson. Cleveland down by 8. Well, we've had teams score 8 in an inning. Hennigan on the mound. And here we go. It's going to be Gene Michael to lead it off. Hennigan, a right-handed pitcher. Hennigan gets the sign, the wind-up, and the pitch to Michael now. That's 5-8, switch hitter batting left. And he grounds it to short X. For Eddie Leon, 438. G1, but he could boot it. Leon, E38. 5, 6, 7, 8. E38. And that's going to be a G1 to lead it off here, and he throws him out. One down. And Joel Horland says, obscure, yes, but to last 5 years in the majors, you must have great talent. Relatively few in the world make it that far. That's so true. Isn't that true? Here's Roy White now. And he was actually used for 40, 60, 70 innings in those few of those years. Here's White now. 3 for 4 White. 3 singles, scored twice. Knocked in 2 runs. Jim Hennigan now. The windup and the pitch to White. 2-9, right-handed, struck him out. Hennigan gets the first 2 Yankees here in the 9th. And now Joe Pepitone is the batter. Hennigan now. And the pitch 1-8, and he popped him up to first. And Horton makes the catch A 1-2-3 inning for the rookie. And we're heading to the bottom of the ninth now. And if it's okay with you, I'm going to take a little break for about 2 or 3 minutes to get back to this ball game. I'm Jeffrey Guterman. This is Studio B in Fort Lauderdale. And this is the Strat-O-Matic Sports Network. And Kathy Harden writes, a lot of them toll away in the minors for a few years and never make it. That's true too. Bonson was, I didn't know this, he was the 1968 Rookie of the Year. He was eventually traded. Played 16 years. My goodness. In his rookie year, 1968, he was 17-12 with a 2.05 ERA. Granted, he was that was the year of the pitcher, but still 2.05, and then he never pitched like that again, even though he was a pretty much a consistent, sort of an average pitcher. Some years were better than others. One of the theories is that the hitters eventually learned how to hit him, what his weaknesses were. But he played a very long time, 16 years. Okay, Joel Horland notes he was an effective reliever for the Expos, which does, that pans out here, yeah. He also played for the Phillies. We're just about ready to get started with Stan Bonson going for his 8th win. It's a 9-1 ball game. Bonson taking his warm-ups to finish this up here. It will be Baker, Horton, and Harrelson here in the bottom of the 9th. This might have been premature of me, but I already put Hennigan's nameless player back with the nameless players and put all those nameless players back in my Strat-O-Matic box, and that, you know, if Hennigan pitches again, if they score 8 runs to tie it up, we'll see. I'll just go get it again. I left it on top. Here's Bonson now, facing Frank Baker. Left-handed hitter. Baker 1 for 3 today. Here's the windup from Bonson and the pitch. 2-7, right-handed, struck him out. Second strikeout for Stan Bonson. And now Tony Horton is the batter. Bonson gets the sign from Munson, the windup, and the pitch to Horton. That's 5-8 right-handed, and that's a drive hit out into the gap for a double for Tony Horton. A one-out double for Hawk Harrelson. 9-1 Yankees here in this third game of a of a four-game series. The doubleheader on September 5, Yankees swept. They're looking to take the third of this four-game series here, a four-game winning streak. Cleveland would have lost their 9th in a row. It's Horton on second, one out, the pitch to Ken Harrelson. That's 6-6 right-handed, and it lines it to second, caught by Horace. 2 outs. Now it's all up to Duke Sims. Bonson 1 out away from an excellent complete game win. Sims is 0 for 3. Here's the windup by Bonson. I'm from the stretch, I'm sorry. And that's 3-8 right-handed. He walked him. Now, one more hitter walk. He is fatigued. They might let him. He says he's okay. Remember, he had 2 in this endurance inning, but refreshed. Now he has 2 here. One more. He's fatigued. Here's Eddie Leon. I'm sure Bonson is tired. Okay, Bonson now. First on second, 2 outs. Eddie Leon at the plate. The pitch from Bonson. That's 1-5, and he struck him out. That's the game. What a performance by Stan Bonson. Final score 3-6, 7-8, 9-1. Bonson went all the way. He gets the win, 9 innings. 5 hits allowed. Walked 3, struck out 3, allowed 1 run. Hennigan pitched 1 inning. The loss goes to Paul. It's Yankees 9 runs, 13 hits, and no errors. Cleveland 1 run, 5 hits, and 2 errors. Big hitting for the Yankees. Home runs by Pepitone, his 27th of the season. Frank Fernandez, his 13th. Bobby Mercer hit his 15th. And, of course, the great performance by Stan Bonson. Stan Bonson is the man. Stan is the man. This has been a broadcast of the Strat-O-Matic Sports Network. Stay strong, everybody. Stay well. I hope to be back real soon today. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Mike.